Hello and welcome to Cargo Masterminds, our weekly one-to-one interview series, where we bring big leaders of the global air freight and logistic industries to help us understand and educate us on the key trends that are shaping the future of logistics in a rapidly evolving digital world of trade and commerce. My name is Reggie John. Disrupting logistics, startups, technologies, and investors building future supply chains is the name of a recent book. This book presents trends, developments, and examples of how digital disruption has been reshaping the global logistic industry. The book, edited by Kristen Wurst and Luca Graf, has separate chapters on key technologies that are fundamentally changing the freight industry globally, written by well-known industry experts, and how very promising startups and highly ambitious venture capital firms are investing into the future of logistics, which is increasingly becoming digital. I'm sure this book will inspire you and make you creative. My guest today is Luca Graf, one of the two editors of this very important and timely book. Luca Graf is also the head of digital innovation at DSV Penalpina. With the recent acquisition of Agility's global integrated logistic business, DSV Penalpina is one of the top 3 global freight forwarders. Luca Graf is an industrial engineering and management graduate and holds a PhD in business management. He has been leading digital transformation initiatives over the last 15 years in the airline and logistic industries. Luca, welcome to Cargo Masterminds, and I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you very much for the invite. Great to be here and with you and with Cargo Masterminds.
Look at what attracted you to be part of this project, this book, and be one of the 2 editors of this book.
Yeah, this came as a coincidence, but already in my function at Panalpina at that time. So before DSV has acquired Panalpina, I was in the same role of innovating into digital new products. And yeah, of course, we have been doing a lot of research, and we still do a lot of research about technology trends. And together with my colleague, Christian Wurst, who was the former CEO of Europe, we discovered that there's actually not really a lot of literature about the ongoing digital transformation in logistics, and in particularly not written, let's say, by practitioners for practitioners. And that was really approach and our motivation then to start this project.
Written by practitioners for the practitioners. Who had this idea first?
That was Christian. That was not me. Christian has also published before. I mean, I published for my PhD thesis, but after that, I stopped writing, let's say. I was a bit tired of writing. And then, yeah, he came up with the idea and said, hey, Luca, because particularly you have met so many different, let's say, tech innovators, startup founders from the logistics space who invent new products and use great new technology. So let's use these contacts and try to get them into this book, because at the end, this book is a collective contribution. It's 26 co-authors who have joined that and written 21 articles. And that was always the idea, not to write a monologue, but really involve as many as possible, the real experts, the ones driving the change in this industry today. And yeah, he said, hey, you would be my perfect co-editor with the network you have, and bring the founders on board. And so that's how then the project started.
Let's open the book and turn the pages and tell us some of the top technology trends, technology and digital that you and the other authors have identified and written about in the book. It's really good to have chapters written by people actually working in the industry.
Yeah, that was our goal always. Yeah. So we have split the book into 3 parts. So the first part is about identifying the key drivers of change. So why is it that in logistics technology is now embraced, and for what? So we have there the first articles talking about, of course, the need and the benefits of process automation, of using technology for better asset utilization, and using technology for giving better transparency into the pricing, but also into the supply chain visibility. So these, let's say, are the driving changes which are portrayed. And then the second part of the book is about the business models behind, let's say, the change. So all the different products. So it's about the solutions and in the different areas of logistics, and this ranges from, let's say, last mile delivery services to e-commerce logistics, rate comparison and marketplaces, digital freight forwarding, any kind of SaaS solutions for instance, asset tracking, for advanced analytics, big data solutions. It goes into warehouse automation. It turns to autonomous vehicles and that discussion, and then into technology being used for in the sense of transport management systems and blockchain applications. So it goes into the diverse parts of the whole supply chain industry and showcases the different solutions and models which are being built. At the example, always, of course, at one product or company, but giving real always, and that was the idea, a neutral kind of overview about the products being developed. And then in the third part of the book, this is about the key players driving the change. So we portray here, of course, what are the carriers doing in order to make use of the digital transformation. And here we have the example of Lufthansa Cargo showcasing what they're doing. What are then the freight forwarders doing in making use of technology? Who are the guys driving the change also from the startup side, from the tech innovator side, and also from the investor side. So we also have a prominent VC on board describing the motivation of VCs to invest into the logistics industry. So yeah, so that's a bit the roundup about digital transformation in logistics.
I know there are quite a lot of technology trends being identified and written about, from artificial intelligence to machine learning to Internet of Things to big data to deep data to cargo drones being used from last mile deliveries even to mid mile deliveries. So what, according to you, are the possibilities of some of these trends to provide the visibility to the shippers? Because it seems now, right now, supply chain visibility has become a very critical factor. From a container level to a piece level or a shipment level, visibility is something that shippers are expecting.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what we also observe in our let's say innovation initiatives at DSV Panalpina, and where we really much focus on developing new solutions for better supply chain visibility, and that's one of the key areas also being portrayed in the book. And let's say the technologies used related to that. So be it IoT in order to, let's say, sense location or the condition of the cargo, but particularly also a lot of machine learning and AI applications to process this kind of data. And if you ask me which of the technologies are maybe the one which finds most applications in the logistics industry, I would definitely reply immediately it's about advanced analytics and machine learning, because at the end there are so many use cases and applications you can think about in the various areas of the industry. So be it, let's say, in the back office operations there, where we can process much more automated by making use of machine learning technologies. Or if you go into the front office and think about that we could also use conversational AI, so chatbots, voice agents, and then think about the whole data processing as such, predictive part, which is very important for the whole supply chain visibility topic. So when will my container arrive at the port? When can it be picked up? And what does it mean if, let's say, if there's exception happening here, and if you can predict an exception even and avoid any disruption in the supply chain. So that's all related, of course, on data processing and on advanced analytics and machine learning capabilities. That goes even in the direction of robotics. Yeah, so everything we can think about robotic speed in the warehouse. I mean, they're all steered by some algorithms. And think also about autonomous vehicles, cargo drones, or autonomous trucks. It's again all about data processing and machine learning algorithms to steer the robots. Yeah. So in that sense, I feel this technology as a basis, of course, again, data processing, this has the strongest impact and potential for our industry.
Look, you are a key observer of trends. You almost like appear to be like an academician, but you're also part of a big global freight forwarding company that works with several hundreds of customers. So how has your involvement with this getting this book edited, going through different pieces written by domain experts, how has that process changed you, and what are some of the ways in which you look at when you creating solutions for your customers? What kind of thought process have you had doing the this book?
This book gives a perfect overview of what is currently happening on the technology and then the application side, and that inspires, let's say, me in my daily work and the team on finding the new trends and things to test out and find the things which have the most potential for driving costs down or bringing new revenue streams. Yeah, and that's also how we have positioned the book as really as a source of inspiration, how technology can be used to make things better. I mean, on the one hand, more efficient, more customer friendly, and then also with the potential to build new business models. Yeah, and as I said, I mean, as an innovation team, we live from research and from trend analysis to make sure that we don't miss a trend, or let's say jump on the train too late, yeah, because that might be then too late to really grab the potential. Yeah, being at the forefront, of course, of innovation and making use of technologies again to really improve our operations and improve the customer experience. So that's what drives us and what you can really learn out of that book.
You know, you look at this the pandemic, the period of pandemics. We have already been through about 18 months into the pandemic. Different countries have gone through different levels of lockdowns, on and off, and there has been a lot of movement towards people buying online. E-commerce has become a very critical part of as individual people, and we tend to kind of track our shipment on a daily basis, on a minute by minute. We can actually track. So there is an insatiable desire, consumer demand to track and trace their shipment, and that's really shaping a new behavior pattern as consumers. Do you think that shipper expectations are not fulfilled because of or tools that are implemented in our current industries, which are too outdated? I remember having a conversation with you about a couple of months back in a conference session, whether do we need a makeover of a very boring logistic industry? How do you look at this, our ability to kind of track and trace what we have ordered, and how that is actually taking a new trend in the B2B section?
Customer expectations are clearly rising. And I mean, I have the hypothesis that things you learn in your daily life as a consumer will influence also your expectations and behavior in your business life. Yeah? So if you transfer things what we consume and see and make use of in private life in the B2C world, this will have an effect on the B2B world. Yeah? And we definitely see a rising need from our customer for better visibility into the supply chain, and with all the benefits you can take on. Yeah, I mean, to better plan your inventory. I mean, to have really an inventory only, at a limited point to supply your production, but not to bind capital unnecessary. Yeah? Anyhow, there are so many applications and benefits out of that, and we see really in all verticals, industry verticals, the growing need for better visibility. And at the end, we know it's complex to realize that in our industry, because we are, we are very fragmented. We have not so many standards. Many, let's say, operators are involved, and we don't have, let's say, a common system for which we communicate. So and there are many ways to achieve that. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, let's say the most expensive way maybe to achieve that is that what we offer also as DSV Panalpina to our customer, the ability for cargo live tracking. So we have developed a product called DSV Visibility. It's a visibility platform, and we offer our customers the option to attach a live tracker to their cargo shipments, be it on rail, road, air freight, ocean. So we have different products for different lanes and modes, and then visualize on a platform where the goods are, and also calculate ETAs based on that. Or we can also offer conditional monitoring about temperature, humidity, light, shock, vibrations during the journey, and then let's say not in a passive mode but also active. And that's what we see, that there is a willingness to pay from more and more customers that have a willingness to pay for that extra service, particularly in industries which have, let's say, more high value goods or urgent goods to be delivered, like in high tech, automotive, healthcare industries. And otherwise, of course, it's about integrating data, and it's getting also the right data in a good quality. So not that we report too late when a ship has already arrived 3 days ago. That doesn't help. But we need really actual data and predict also arrival times and events. And then there are more and more technology players out there in the market who offer that service. Of course, we also make use of their services as well. I mean, we don't invent everything or collect everything on our own, but it's a certain part of the product which we offer ourselves, and other parts where we also make use of these data aggregators, or how I call them, and to offer the best experience to our customer in that sense.
How important are the logistic technology startup ecosystem for different stakeholders in the freight industry to scale their digital transformation journey? There is significant amount of logistic technology startups in the world today, and they actually, because of their solution, you are actually bringing down also the cost of digital adoption.
The tech innovators, how they call them, play a vital role in that transformation journey. And I mean, we know that in our industry, there's a lot of potential. There's lots of inefficiencies in our industry, which we can really tackle and improve with the help of technology. And we need a different approach. I mean, in that sense, that freight forwarder of the future should be rather, let's say, a tech company which happens to work in logistics than, let's say, just a regular freight forwarder making use of a tool here and there. And these tech companies can really help us to drive that change. As our industry is very large and attractive and a lot of inefficiencies there, this attracts also a lot of investors and venture capitalists. They provide the capital for these companies to grow, and we can see that more and more of these former, let's say, startups and maybe now scale-ups are really become unicorns. So they have a valuation above $1 billion US. And you see more and more of them. And now also in the digital freight forwarding space, so where our company originates from and offers services. So names like, of course, Flexport, but now also in Europe with Sender and Forto, other companies which have raised more money and have become these kind of unicorns. And that helps the industry overall, because it accelerates the pace in which we adopt and make use of technology to really improve the efficiencies and the customer experience.
That actually brings to my next question on the private equity companies as well as venture capital firms investing in the logistic technology companies. Just yesterday, I had a look at 38 unicorns in the logistic supply chain technology startups, which include some of the names that you mentioned. Also, yesterday's news about Zipline raising $250 million US dollars on the valuation of $2.7 billion US dollars. So how has good capital chasing tech companies in the logistics sector increasing the acceleration of disruption?
Yeah, I mean, you answered that question already in that sense. As more capital is there, and as we know, money in these days is cheap, and we are looking for everyone who's investing for good returns. And in that sense, this industry offers so much potential, and these vendors or service providers really have a product which have the potential to grow. So this is why, we see this acceleration as you described, and that's good for us, for for the industry because it gives new standards and gives new opportunities and products to improve.
Luca, how does being part of the top 3 forwarders in the world and having your current role as the head of digital innovation allow you and your organization to set global benchmarks in adopting the latest technology and become an influencer in the industry?
I mean, that is important to be mentioned as well. Of course, it's not only the, let's say, the tech innovators who bring digital transformation forward, but of course, our company also invests heavily into new technology, into a new innovative product. And because as we understand, there are more opportunities to be more efficient, and there's definitely also these rising customer expectations out there. So we invest on various fronts. Let's say both, of course, in automating our core business, in the front office, in the back office, in the warehouses, introducing software robotics or physical robotics as an example. That's one major part where also our innovation team is working on new approaches and product. Another part, we talked about that before, is the supply chain visibility, where we have put heavy efforts into that because we also see that's really one of the major needs from our customers. So I mentioned the DSV visibility platform we have developed and ETL algorithms we have partly developed on our own, or we join forces with the tech innovators and make use of their solutions. The third area where we invest heavily in is let's say, of course, the newest big requirement by our customer around green logistics. So solutions which improve the CO2 footprint of the operations, be it our own operations as a forwarder, but also particularly the operations of the network partners and also at the customer. So here we have also just launched a new green product portfolio, and related to that and in the background, of course, are also new technologies we make use of to identify inefficiency, plan a more efficient supply chains, but also, of course, when it comes to alternative fueling, new ways of powering vehicles moving the goods. And then the fourth area where we invest into is what we call new digital products or services. So these are for sure also growth opportunities into new markets, channels or segments. And here we think about additional added value services, which we as a global freight forwarder can offer to our customers, like financial services. We already have a large portfolio of insurance product, but we complement that now with financial product, also to, for instance, finance the goods of our customers, not only the transportation, but also the import of the goods, or thinking about the growing e-commerce market, new digital products where we can offer an end-to-end product and experience to our customers in shipping goods around the world, including last mile, customs clearance, etc. So these are, let's say, new growth models for us, which are enabled by technology.
Luca, can you tell us about the projects that DSV Innovation Hub is currently working on with startups?
I give you some examples. I mean, we talked first about the DSV visibility platform. We primarily work with startups together on the hardware side to find affordable, but also quality-wise and the best track and tracing devices. That's one area where we have piloted different solution and then selected the ones we have now in our standard product portfolio. Another area is let's take the example of the warehouse drones. So we have actually launched together with a tech innovator their new industrial product of using drones in the warehouse to automate the inventory control and cycle counting. We have piloted that solution last year for a couple of weeks in one of our warehouses and have now in April installed the solution in one of our warehouses as a fixed installation, and now are rolling out that product to numerous warehouses in our network, both to automate the inventory control process, but also to improve the quality of our operations, because we are much faster and also cheaper with the technology and can scan more often, and by that we reduce the errors, and we avoid disruptions to our supply chain or to our operations in the warehouse before before they occur. That's the second example where we really have launched together with this technology company this new product and tested it before. Another area is now, for instance, exoskeletons. So we try in our warehouses exoskeletons again to raise the productivity, but also to improve the health of our employees and support them in lifting heavy stuff. That's another area where we work together with startups. Let me think. Yeah, and as I mentioned before, also these kind of new products we are developing in the financial service areas. We work with fintech startups here together, cross-border e-commerce. There are a number of tech companies we can also benefit from. So it's really a mixture of developing things on our own, but adding that with new technology and solutions provided by startup companies.
Okay, Luca, I want to end the conversation on talking about drones or cargo drones for deliveries, and we've been hearing a lot. We've also seen how global multinational companies in the third-party logistic companies are actually putting a lot of investment into some of these cargo drone startup companies. DSV itself has, you mentioned about it was part of a webinar last week that you were part of, speaking about DSV's involvement in the deployment of drones in the inventory control in warehouses. DSV in Canada has been part of the drone delivery. I've seen how those drones are being deployed. According to you, when you look at these, the deployment of cargo drones from a mid-mile, we've seen the announcement of Dynamics and Hellman yesterday, mid-mile to last-mile logistic. What is the future looking like for cargo drone deliveries, according to you?
I think we are looking ahead of a prosperous future for that. So there are more and more use cases and applications we believe cargo drones can make a real benefit of. I mean, if you look at applications which are live and operational today, it has primarily started in the healthcare area and with operations in rural areas. So you mentioned Zipline before. The operations they have in Rwanda is for sure one of the big showcases, where they deliver medicine or blood samples, vaccines to the population in an area where the infrastructure is limited, and the drones can really deliver quickly and at a very efficient cost level. So I think this is where it started, and now we look into new applications, be it that this is in the area of still last mile, what we can say, so deliver over a distance of a couple of miles. That could be, I mean, Zipline also started to operate for Walmart e-commerce deliveries of parcels, again in a rural area, if I'm not wrong, in Arkansas or North Dakota. Not sure about that, but that's for sure next application on last mile. But then you can go further and look into offshore operations, for instance, where regulation, I mean, we don't fly in offshore over densely populated areas, so that's a lower risk, to make use of drones, of, I don't know, supplying stuff to vessels, or to oil platforms or wind park operations and so on. And then the recently mentioned examples you have given about the announcement with Hellman and Dynamics. That's the idea, of course, of building a middle range express network. And again here, I mean, drones in that sense cargo drones are unmanned, and the probability that they are approved by the regulators is much higher than, of course, if you would transport passengers on board. So I think cargo drones will really see and have the first applications in different parts of the world, also flying over populated areas, as the technology is also equipped more and more with more safety standards and redundancy systems. So if one or the other rotor falls out, no problem, it can fly with the remaining, or they have a parachute on board, so when it drops to the ground, it flies, it sails and it doesn't crash on the ground. So I mean, the technology is really advancing, the distances, the payload, the safety systems. And in that sense, I really believe that we will see that this takes off within the next let's say 2 to 3 years. Yeah, maybe again with the first more and more live applications or new use cases within the next year. Yeah, so this is why I believe in that this finally takes off, because yeah, it took some time, and this is why we as DSV also started to really investigate first into the application of indoor drones with the warehouse drones, because yeah, you can control the signal much better within the environment and don't have the weather conditions. But now with the technology getting more robust, I believe we will see in 2 to 3 years much more applications, and this market will grow.
The future of freight is certainly digital, and it is bright and dynamic. None of us will be surprised if you come out with a new edition of or updated edition of Disrupting Logistics maybe next year, because there is so much happening in the transport and logistic industry. Luca, thanks for sharing your thoughts on some of the key trends that are shaping the future of freight and the highly digitized world of trade and commerce. Appreciate you joining me in this episode of Cargo Masterminds.
Thank you, Reggie. It was a real pleasure talking to you and sharing these insights. And let's see if we come up to the next edition. But you're completely right. For sure, next year we have again already so many new developments that it would deserve a new edition.
That was Luca Graf, head of digital innovation at DSV Penalpina. I hope you enjoyed watching this interview. If you found it useful, make sure to share it among your friends and colleagues. Also, if you are not a subscriber of our YouTube channel, please do subscribe now and click the bell icon so that you do not miss any of our new videos. I will see you next Monday with another guest. Till then, stay safe. Thank you.